It's a typical roller coaster, and I doubt I'm the only one that has experienced that. As a matter of fact, over the last 4 or 5 days in traveling mainland, and obviously, you know, seeing another foreigner, I always introduce myself.
Yes.
And I've heard a lot of horror stories.
Wow.
So what I have experienced over the last, I guess, you know, 20 some odd years,
yes.
I am not the only one. I am not the only one. One company was very interesting, you know, at this show here, a lot of power banks are being sold.
Yes, I've seen them everywhere.
They're everywhere, and normally a power bank is, you know, comprises of a high capacity battery.
Right.
Which is, you know, it's heavy. You can tell a good high capacity battery.
Yes.
And one that isn't just by the weight.
3,000 milliamps, 4,000
milliamps?
milliamps?
Yeah, 3,000 milliamps, 2,800, whatever they are.
Yes.
And I met one buyer from Norway who was here. And, you know, he saw my little speaker thing. He says, oh yeah, I read about it, and, you know, I didn't have the chance, but I've heard a lot of good things about the seminars that were coming out at Global Sources, both from Mike and myself.
Yes.
And he says, I have a story to tell you. I said, oh, really? So for once, I'm not telling the story. And he found a supplier, and the supplier, you know, started out selling, you know, 100, then 1,000, then 5,000 of these power banks over the last year.
Yes.
Since the October show. And he was very, very happy with the quality.
Yes.
And all of a sudden he says, you know, now we started to receive complaints from the last shipments that were now released to his clients, which were retailers in the cell phone marketplace, that the batteries wouldn't last long.
Wow.
And, you know, everything is the same, and, you know, they couldn't tell. And these things are sealed, obviously.
Yes.
So, so ahead of the show, he opened one up. And what they did is they epoxied sand inside the battery power bank.
Yes.
And had a smaller capacity battery. Now, in Europe and America, the labor to put sand in a little plastic thing and encapsulate it to add weight is expensive in labor.
Yes.
Obviously, it's not here because he ordered 20,000 of these.
20,000?
20,000, and they're all defective. And
now, they're defective in that they don't last as long as you expected, because it's only 2,000 milliamps instead of 3,500 milliamps.
Correct. And the manufacturer put sand inside the housing to keep the weight the same.
So when the inspector inspects it, they don't see a difference if weight is a measurement the inspector has to do. And
in fact, he had a one of the quality control inspection houses here do the inspection.
Yes.
And never did they do a discharge of the battery. They just took a look, they felt it, it looked good, the plastics were good, it looked like the original approved samples, and they released the shipment.
Wow.
So now another thing to add in purchase order, just like we mentioned at the at my seminar, where you need to go and talk about actual tests and measurements of discharge and what happens. Now, he has no recourse. I mean, well, he has recourse. It said 2,000 milliamp hours, but how to do that?
Well, you should have made it very clear to the inspector.
Yeah.
Or just like when you put the tablet in between two pillows and you just let it run. It's the only way you can find out.
Yeah, yeah. So it was very interesting. And here also, I bumped into 2 of the tablet manufacturers that were seized at the CeBIT show in Hanover.
There was 30 of them seized at the time.
2 of the guys are here. And one of them actually recognized me and today and said, hi, Charles, how are you? I have a tablet. I said, how was CeBIT to you? And he kind of looked at me. He says, you know CeBIT? I said, yeah, I know the story. You know, you guys got fined, you know, and they seized everything. And I said, you want to see? And still, he said, you want to see my new model? I said, no HDMI license, no Bluetooth license, no SD card license, no nothing. Not interested.
Wow.
So just amazing. So it was interesting to see that.